Namaste everybody, Nic here. So I've completed the 28-day cleanse and here I am one day afterwards, and a few people had written to me with questions and wanted to know some reflections on this experience that I had. So I'm just going to go through 5 questions that people have asked me along the way. So the first question was, what was the best and worst moments during the 28-day Panchakarma? So I'm going to start with the worst. The worst was having the paperwork to do, because obviously I'm traveling during a time where there is a global pandemic going on. There was a lot of paperwork and PCR tests to get organized. When I was going to the websites, I wasn't sure. The Indian websites weren't clear about whether or not I'd have to self-quarantine for 7 days or not. And I really just flew on a wing and a prayer that I would have all the pieces of paper in place. Hopefully when I lead the small group next year in 2023, that will not be the case. So that was one hindrance, I guess, to getting here. The second was that during the first 3 days, I felt absolutely awful. I was tired and my body went straight into detoxification, almost like my subtle body knew that I was coming to do a detox. And as soon as I arrived there, those first 3 days, I was not sleeping. I was in tremendous pain in my body. So sometimes there's something called the Hex Syndrome, when your body dumps a lot of toxins into the system pretty quickly. My body has this tendency to do it. It doesn't happen to everyone, but you should know that it can happen, and it feels very like a flu symptom. So my spinal column, my nervous system was all the way down my spine, was exceeding pain. I didn't really sleep the first 2 nights, and I was feeling really awful. So that was the worst experience. However, that said, when you know that that's a possibility of happening, and I was keeping my eye on the ball of what the end result would be, it was definitely worth it. So I just stayed very low those days and just was really nice to my body and said, yes, this is my body helping me. And I had a kind of mental mindset around it. I did check in with the doctor and he came immediately, said, you know, I'll come and check your heart, your pulse, make sure nothing else is going on. And he said, no, it's just a detoxification process, and, you know, take the mindset around it. The best parts, well, from the place of the treatments, and I think the treatment that I felt was the most profound for me would have been the Marma point treatment. So that's where there were certain points pressed on my body, a little bit like the energy work that I do, but much more into the physical body. In terms of the best moment throughout the whole experience, I really enjoyed the yoga practices. It was in the West, I was trained very classical hatha yoga, and I find it difficult in the West to find classes that are authentic to that traditional way of teaching yoga. It's much slower, it's held poses, it is challenging, and I find in the West often what happens is I'm in fast vinyasa classes, and as an energy practitioner, I know that I'm not able to push the energy into the poses because they're just not held long enough. The breath work isn't deep enough. So I really enjoyed coming back to very simple hatha, classical hatha practice. I also really enjoyed, in terms of like the whole retreat, being able to sit on the beach and being able to swim in the ocean. It was peaceful, serene, and the ocean felt wonderful to be in. There's many other things that were amazing, but those were the 3 best and a couple of worst for